Welcome back. All right, career video on Andrei Vasilievskiy. He reaches 300 wins. He's the fastest to do so, so I did some mathing. And yeah, we'll see how many wins he ends up with in his career. But 300, it feels like it's just the starting point. So he's drafted 19th overall back in 2012. Not a fantastic draft, but Tampa Bay did all right in that draft. And he comes over and plays for the Tampa Bay Lightning 2014 2015. His first year at the National Hockey League level, he plays 16 games, record of 7-5-1, 918 save percentage, 2.36 goals against average, and a shutout. So while Ben Bishop is, playing pretty darn well for Tampa, we know Vasilevskiy's the goalie of the future at that time. 2015-2016, he plays 24 games, a record of 11-10, 910 save percentage, 2.76 goals against average, and a single shutout. So 2016-2017, he's the starter. He's the go-to guy. And 50 games played by Vasilievskiy that year, a record of 23-17-7, 917 save percentage. So that's a strong number. 2.61 goals against average. Two shutouts that season, and we had no idea what was yet to come. 2017-2018, after missing the playoffs in 2017, Tampa Bay, they do much, much better in 2017-2018, and Vasilievskiy starts a lot of games. 65 games played by Vasilievskiy, which is a career high for him still to this point. 44 wins, also a career high, and first in the NHL. 17 regulation losses, 3 losses in extra time via shootout or overtime. 920 save percentage, 2.62 goals against average, 8 shutouts, plays in the All-Star game, and he's third in Vezina voting. So that's where Vasilievskiy really gets on everybody's radar. 2018-2019, he plays 53 games that year. His 39 wins still leads the league. 10 regulation losses, 4 losses in extra time. 925 save percentage is 6th in the National Hockey League. I was surprised he's never led the league in save percentage, to be honest. 2.4 goals against average is 9th overall. His 6 shutouts are 4th overall. Plays in an All-Star game, Vezina Trophy, and a first-team All-Star that year. So, yeah, strong season for Vasilievskiy. 2019-2020, plays 52 games. His 35 wins leads the league again. 14 regulation losses and 3 losses in extra time. 917 save percentage, 2.56 goals against average. His 3 shutouts were 8th overall in the NHL that year. All-Star game, yep. Stanley Cup, absolutely. And we'll talk more about that when we get into the playoff side of things. Third in the Vezina voting that year as well. 2020-2021, a shortened season. 42 games, 31 wins. That's first overall. 10 regulation losses and 1 loss in extra time. 925 save percentage. Again, that's 6th in the National Hockey League. 2.21 goals against average is 8th overall. His 5 shutouts, 4th overall in the National Hockey League. He wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. He's a first-team All-Star, Cup winner, 2nd in Vezina voting, and 7th in Hart voting. So big year that year for Vasilievskiy. 2021-2022, he keeps it rolling, 63 games, his 39 wins, first in the league. So that's 5 straight seasons Vasilievskiy leads the league in wins. 18 regulation losses, 5 losses in extra time, 916 save percentage, 2.49 goals against average. That's 9th overall, 2 shutouts, plays in the All-Star game, and he's 5th in Vezina voting that year. 2022-2023, 60 games played. His 34 wins are 6th overall, so quite the drop from first. His 22 regulation losses are 9th overall, the first time that he was top 10 in losses, and 4 losses in extra time. 915 save percentage, 2.65 goals against average, 4 shutouts. That's 5th overall in the NHL, plays in the All-Star game, and he's 6th in Vezina voting. So Vasilievskiy, quite the career he'd strung together by that point. 2023-2024, 52 games, 30 wins, that's 9th overall. 20 regulation losses, 2 losses in extra time. Now his 900 save percentage and his overall not great numbers can be explained by the fact that he missed the start of the season with injury, and it took a while for him to get up to speed. Once he did, he was quite good, but his overall numbers weren't great, including a 2.9 goals against average and 2 shutouts. This year thus far, 13 games, his 7 wins are 8th overall. His 5 regulation losses are 7th overall, and he has 1 loss in extra time. 913 save percentage, so he's almost back up to where he was a couple years ago. His 2.32 goals against average is actually 5th in the NHL. He has 1 shutout. That also ties him for 5th in the NHL. So he's played 490 games. He's already 86th in terms of goaltenders on the all-time games played list. His 300 wins, that's 39th on the all-time list. 148 regulation losses, 31 losses in extra time. 917 career save percentage, that's very good. 2.56 goals against average is very good too. And 35 shutouts, it definitely gets you on the radar in terms of career shutouts. So when we're looking at the numbers, I wanted to look at the playoffs as well. Had to pause because Bunny Fir just, anyways, I was carrying around licorice earlier. Okay, so in the playoffs, he makes his debut in 2015 as a rookie, plays 4 games, a 1-1 record, 895 save percentage, 3.19 goals against, no shutouts. 2016, he plays 8 games that year, even though he was the backup during the regular season. In the playoffs, he does get in. I believe that's where Bishop gets hurt. 3-4 record, 925 save percentage, 2.76 goals against. Plays quite well, earns a shot at being the starter, and he doesn't disappoint. In 2018, he's in the playoffs because 2017 they surprisingly missed the playoffs. 2018, 17 games played, 11-6 record, 918 save percentage, 2.58 goals against average, no shutouts. 2019 is the big year. 4 games, 4 losses, 856 save percentage, 3.82 goals against average. And that summer, I heard about how Vasilievskiy wasn't a big game goaltender, and Columbus had exposed Tampa Bay, and the Lightning just weren't that good, and they had this great 2018-2019 regular season, yada, yada, yada. So 2020, they won the Cup, so the same people that said, well, they're not quite good enough are the ones that then say, well, that doesn't count. So 25 games in those playoffs, an 18-7 record, because the round-robin games are counted as playoff numbers as well. 927 save percentage, goals against average of 1.9, and a single shutout. 2021, they go back-to-back. He plays 23 games, 16-7 record, 937 save percentage, 1.9 goals against, 5 shutouts. And that is the year that he wins the Conn Smythe, and there wasn't any arguing against it. 2022, they go back to the final. 23 games played by Vasilievskiy. That year, a 14-9 record. 922 save percentage, 2.52 goals against average, 1 shutout. And then the team has had its struggles the last couple of years. 2023, a record of 2-4, an 875 save percentage, 3.56 goals against average. And then in 2024, a 1-4 record, 897 save percentage, 3.22 goals against average. And of course, no shutouts. Overall, he's played 115 playoff games, 66 wins, 46 losses, 920 save percentage, which is insane, 2.41 goals against average, and 7 career shutouts. And he has a real chance to move up the all-time ranking of wins in the playoffs. I think he's 10th right now. I think he's tied for 10th right now. At the very least, he's close to moving up that list. I think he's 2 behind Andy Moog, I think, at this point. So, Jacques Plante took 521 games to get to 300 wins. But one of the questions we're going to be asking is, so how many more can we expect for Vasilievskiy in his career? So get my crystal ball and my calculator out. Bobrovsky recently, of course, becomes the fastest to 400 wins. It took him 707 games to get there. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Vasilievskiy probably gets there quicker. And I'm saying probably because with the fact that he gets injured, goalies, many people mention, are very highly unpredictable. You just never know. But I would think that Bobrovsky's record will fall once Vasilievskiy wins his next 100 games. Brodeur was the fastest to 500 wins. That took him 908 games. Again, if Vasilievskiy keeps winning at the rate he has been, but there's another differentiator here. So Brodeur's record of 691 wins was done in 1,266 games. The longevity, the good health of Marty Brodeur definitely helped him to set that record, and to set it so high that it's very unlikely anybody ever really truly threatens it. Now, Vasilievskiy is currently winning 61.22% of the games that he plays. And I thought that was a good starting point. Now, of course, for Vasilievskiy to threaten the record, Tampa Bay has to stay good. Either Tampa Bay has to stay good to great, or he has to go to another top team where he can rack off like a whole bunch more wins. Marty Brodeur, one thing that helped him too was that New Jersey, through most of his run, was a pretty darn well-run team, and he played a lot. He would play 70 games. So Vasilievskiy's in an era now where goaltenders do not play 70 games anymore. 65 is almost unheard of. He's done it once. And then you've got the fact that Vasilievskiy has had some injuries, so he's going to have to stay healthy and stop having injuries. And if he plays 1,266 games at the pace that he's recording wins right now, by my calculations, he would have 775 wins, which of course just destroys Berder's record. However, he's averaging 54.6 games as a starter. I didn't include this season, obviously didn't include the years he was a backup. That means that at this rate of how many games he plays per season, he would have to play a little over 23 years in the National Hockey League, and I'm not sure that you can count on a goaltender to play that long. And so that's the one question mark I have, is whether or not he would play enough games to qualify, and or to get to that record, because he's going to have to play a very long time. I don't foresee a time where goaltenders are going to go back to playing 70 plus games either. And if we did get back there, Vasilievskiy would be one of those goaltenders who would want the net every night. Shesterkin's another one that I think qualifies. Even Bobrovsky at this stage in his career, if he could play almost every game, I think he would. But that's the question I have for people is, again, I don't think Vasilievskiy is going to threaten Berder's numbers at any point, but can he get to 500 wins? Yes. Can he get to 600? That's where you're starting to get into territory where I'm not sure, because that'll be doubling this amount. And even if he did that in, say, 980 games, he's going to have to stay healthy. And to get to 600 wins, Tampa Bay is going to have to stay excellent. Remember, he led the league in wins 5 straight seasons, which really helped him get here. So there's a little bit of, I'm not going to say luck, but I'll say good fortune that playing with Tampa Bay, a team that's been a wagon at times over the last decade, has helped Vasilievskiy's win numbers. And over the next decade, can they keep that up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about whether or not you think Andrei Vasilievskiy, at 300 wins, how many do you think he gets by the time his career is done? 500? 600? Can he catch Berder? And again, I don't think he can. I don't think anybody ever will, because of the way goaltenders are being deployed now. There just aren't enough wins. Reminds me of baseball that way. Baseball, like complete game shutout records, those are completely safe in Major League Baseball. It feels like with goaltenders, records of games played, wins, shutouts may very well be completely safe, because goaltenders just don't play as much as they used to. But let me know your thoughts. Do hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.